So previously, I've uploaded some tips and tricks of how to work with APA, be it with Word, be it with Google Docs, citations, resources, references, what have you. So I decided to update this video to have a little bit of quality. And this video is all about tips and tricks regarding how to get your APA paper, MLA paper, Chicago. What edition are we in? Right now, oh, whatever, or essay ready to go and to keep yourself organized in order for your work to be successful. So let's go. So, my first tip is that you have everything and all you need regarding the information ready to go before you actually start writing. That includes where you're going to get some of the information, some of the requirements, some of the important points that you want to come across. You can do it using like a little notebook. This is the one I use for my videos. You can have a Google Doc, you can have a Word doc. Really, it doesn't matter what sort of organization you have, as long as it fits the criteria of having all of your information ready to go. Because if you don't have your information ready to go, halfway through this journey, you might forget something, you might get lost. And of course, there are times that we might need more information. We might even have to contact our professor or our teacher in order to clear up some doubts. But make sure that you have everything ready to go. That way that you can minimize these interruptions or perhaps going back and forth between I'm not sure what I have to do, etc. Tip number 2, organize all of your sources. And yes, I know I mentioned this previously, but when we're talking about all of our sources is when you start writing, you should start gathering some of the information before actually sitting down and actually writing. You should write down every single source you think that you are going to cite. Maybe you'll use them, maybe you won't. But you should write down the URL where you got the information from, the book information where you got it from, the IBM, the DOI, etc. Because many times we might have to do a citation or we might have to check our references or cross check our references and we can't find where we got that information from. So make sure that you organize all of your sources nice and neat before you actually start writing the draft that is going to be your research paper. Yes, you need to do this. You need to write a rough draft of your work. I know that sometimes when it's a big research project, it's not that easy, but what you can do is circle back to what I mentioned regarding your organization. You can have kind of like an outline of all the important points that you want to make, or an outline of all the important points that you have to mention. You can also have kind of like an idea of how you want to structure whatever it is that you're writing, if it's an ABA paper, if it's an MLA, if it's just an essay, etc. But please listen to me. When you write a rough draft of your work, not only are you using the writing process, duh, we got to always use the writing process, but you're also kind of like making your brain think of different ways of how you should organize yourself, etc. You can start by stating the introduction, start with how you're going to develop the different points. If you're going to talk about, oh, I don't know, the influence of mosaic art in Spanish colonial architecture, something like that, you can start with the introduction of what should be said, and you can have kind of like an outline that just says, like, well, I want to make this point, this point, this point, this point, and to finalize or conclude with, I want to say this. But yes, listen to me. I know why I'm saying it. Write a rough draft. Listen to me. You'll thank me in the end. Make a plan and follow it. What does that mean? That means that you need to structure how you are going to spend your time writing and researching. Are you going to research on Mondays and write on Wednesdays? Are you going to research on Tuesdays and write on Wednesdays? Are you going to research on Wednesdays and write on Thursdays? How are you going to structure your time in order to make sure for your journey of researching to not give you gray hairs? Because it's all about life and work balance, people. I'm not just saying it because I'm Miss Addy and I have to teach you stuff. I'm saying it because it's necessary. If you make a structure of how you want to spend your time for this assignment, it'll help a whole lot, because that way, when it's time for the due date to start kind of like creeping towards you, you're not going to be stressed out because you already know how you're going to write and how you're going to do everything else. Spell check, spell check, spell check. Yes, spell checking is our friend. I know sometimes it's annoying, but spell check doesn't just cover how we spell something. This actually has to do with our grammar and our sentence structure. Coming from somebody that's a full bilingual, the way that we structure sentences in English is not the same way that we structure most sentences in Spanish. So it's very important that you have that correct structure, because that can actually get you to have less points in the assignment that you're handing in. And also, teachers like myself, the first thing that I do when I receive an essay or a research paper from a student is that I hit on the spell check button, because I have to verify what they might have missed when they didn't what? Spell check. See, it all comes back together. And it's important also because sometimes we write so fast because we want to get the idea out of our heads that we just go and we don't even verify if we spell things correctly. So once again, spell check, and spell check. Well, I hope that these tips and tricks are to your benefit in the future. My name is Miss Addy, and I'm here to teach you some stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all of my social media pages. You'll see them, I don't know, somewhere after I stop talking. Bye.